The next item is the billboard proposal for marketing. Now, we have a bit of a issue here. Since the approval or the subject talk about KJA's contract has been tabled, the pricing that I have is through both Lamar Advertising, number one, and also through KJA as the marketing agency that would handle this. Keep in mind that these arrangements go back to October that I've been working on this, and so it'd be nice to get past the KJA issue because if we approve this, I'm going to have to go directly to Lamar Advertising. Not that that's a problem, but you can get a reduction in the fee by going through an agency like KJA versus going directly to Lamar. So I just want to point out that because of that, that delay and so on, that this is creating a bit of a glitch in this. You almost need one without the,
Is that a legal or a moral error?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't know if I got approval. It's like, who do I contract with? KJA, we just had discussions with them because they would handle the changing out of the advertising panels and so on, and act as our agent to do that, rather because I'm a little stretched myself because in my division it's me, myself, and I.
I guess I probably push the billboard issue as much as anyone. I'd like to see the plan for the billboards. What is it going to do to invite folk that typically would pass through our city to exit and visit our city? Is what I'd like to see. Yeah, probably want to see a little bit.
Well, I have a full report that I would be happy to give you. Matter of fact, it may have been presented back in October, but
I would recommend that you proceed on the basis that right now KJ is eliminated from the mix, and let's see if we get on. We have to have it no matter what happens.
Well, okay, it changes the numbers around somewhat. They're higher with Lamar Advertising, but certainly would.
You mean Lamar Advertisement does our bus stops?
We
do the advertising on our buses?
They get an agency discount, and that's how that works. So but the whole concept of this was to come up with initially 6 locations of billboards that would be placed at the various entry points into the city. I-49 is an example as you're coming from the south heading north. And to be able to offer to motorists the opportunity to see just what's going on at the specific time within the city of Alexandria, so that they would afford them an option of either coming into our city or taking a loop around. It ranges from events such as Kuhn on the Red as an obvious example to a standard invitation to visit our zoo, to indicate that there's shopping, retail just ahead, those type of things. And then also it would allow us to change out in a very quick, timely manner so that we could address community functions that are occurring, whatever they may be. We have a lot going on in the city. And if nothing more than the acknowledgement of where you're at, welcome to Alexandria, Louisiana. So the fact that we do 6 billboards, we're looking at a cost, including change out of the artwork and so on, in a neighborhood of about $3,800 to $4,000 a month if you go with all 4 or all 6 rather, and that includes changing out, assuming you're changing out on a monthly basis. If you don't change out, it's not going to be as expensive.
What I was going to say is your concern and the fact that we don't have them yet, and we may have something at the next meeting, I would suggest that we put everything on hold, give you an opportunity to submit what you have at the moment, just to look at.
Yeah,
aesthetically and put that on hold.
I regret. I really hadn't planned on delaying this at all. But I mean, it's kind of it's pretty difficult to have a discussion about this when you don't have an agreement in place with a KJA who we had planned on using. And so if we can get past that issue and then, but you can do this, but, you know, I'm somewhat impatient, and I really share the feelings of Councilman Johnson that, you know, we really got to get moving on this, to be simplistic about it.
Mr. Johnson?
Going back to the billboards, you're looking at also the animated. I know Lamar has the new type billboards now. They
do have those. These are not included in that. The price of those are considerably more, but they're doable. They last for each message, I believe, is 12 seconds. 10 to 12 seconds that it stays on, and then it switches out. The price is a little bit more. They're eye-catching, there's no doubt about that. And we could go that route. It's a few $100s more.
What are we looking at so far as the differential on cost versus Lamar versus not having KJA to participate in this process?
Sure. From what I can see, there's a reduction in cost of the of changing out the print. It's a lesser cost of artwork. There is a reduction of a few $100s in the actual direct purchase. I'm just looking at my notes here to try to give you something a little bit more than that. Okay, let's take one example of the example of Pineville Expressway. Through Lamar, it's $1,050 a month. KJA, you save $30. The $30 reduction. Another example is, let's see. It's about like that, like, you know, $100 here and there. It's not significant.
Where are we with our queuing on the red advertisements? Is that tied to this?
Well, we would.
Is it separate and apart?
Well, we would incorporate that special event into this signage, but other than that, it's no direct correlation.
Now, did we make a commitment, a soft commitment to utilize their artwork, KJA's artwork on this?
No, but there's been no commitment since there's been no contract. So.
I guess my thing is I would like to go forward, eventually get something done, but by the same token, I'd like to see what we're doing. I do remember you giving us something very nice, but I'd like us
to
see that we're encouraging people and luring them to get off the interstate. When I say luring, I don't mean hoodwinking them, saying it's 200 restaurants and exit here and you see 17 7-Elevens. But something that's going to lure people to come off the interstate.
Well, I'll recopy my October report, and then if you'd like, I'll also ask for some examples of artwork and just what they would look like.
And maybe a PowerPoint.
I'll be more than happy to do it.
Let me make this clear. I didn't quite understand your numbers on the KJ versus Lamar. Is that $30 a sign per month?
Yeah, that's what I'm just one example. I looked at the Pineville. It's
$4 signs.
Lamar is $1,050 per month, and KJ is $1,020.
That times 4 signs.
And they all vary. They're all different. Their prices depending on. That's the most expensive one. Following that, you have one for.
And what does Lamar charge to do artwork and hang it versus KJ?
Yeah. Well, let's see if I can.
Sure, I want Lamar. No offense to Lamar.
No, I'm not. It's let's see.
Not Lamar White.
Yeah, it's not.
How many signs you have, Lamar?
The artwork is anywhere. I mean, the side panels anywhere from $175 to $500 for Lamar, and it's it appears to be
Clarify.
about the same, or again, just slightly under for KJA. From what I can tell, looking at this, we're only looking at $30, $40, $50, something like that on each particular situation.
KJA is less than Lamar, correct?
But what I want to make a point out is that there's a big difference between Bill Hess calling Lamar and following through the entire procedure versus KJA handling it. Unless we want to assign this to some staff, I don't, you know, I'm just one person show here. So I mean, quite honestly, I don't think I can keep up with all this stuff. Okay,
I'd like to see some of your design work before we let you do.
You would? Okay. I'll draw something out on
Mr.
that.
Hobbs, and then I think Mr. Johnson was next.
Well, my thought was that since Lamar put the signage on our buses, why we couldn't go to them with some kind of deal. We're not making no big money off what they're doing on the buses anyway. And that would offset some of the costs. If, you know, on what they're doing on the buses.
Okay.
Because,
All right.
I think, you know, there should be some kind of proposal, something where we can offset, we can advertise on our buses, if you advertise us on the billboard.
I think that's something that needs to be considered. Why don't we just, Mr. Johnson may suggest this, but let's sharpen the pencil a little bit more on this piece with Lamar and go forward on the gateway signage, which I'm very pleased with. Mr. Johnson?
Oh, yes, that's what I wanted to say, is that in the point of clarification, let's move forward with the gateway project and come back with the artwork and design on
Let's
the,
massage this some more.
right, for the billboards. Move forward with the gateway.
I think that motion's already been
Right, that motion will carry.
Okay, that's fine. Appreciate that direction.
Look forward to a PowerPoint,
Absolutely.
whatever we need to see on
I'll put it in print and distribute it to council.
PowerPoint.
Thank you.
Okay. Item number 3.